What's the most that you think that you've spent for a particular trip just on flights alone?
$25 for two people to go to the Philippines in business class. I'm gonna unleash all the cards that are up in here, okay?
Out of all of your 50 credit cards, which one would you say that, in your opinion, is better than Navy Federal?
Ooh, this is gonna be a hot take. So it's actually gonna be
Hey, what's going on, guys? Calvin Russell here, 850 Club Credit. Super excited about our special guest speaker that we have today. And yes, this is a lady that actually has over 50 credit cards. All right. I know some of you all are thinking, well, listen, I just got two, I just got three, and I'm trying to figure out how to maintain them. Right. But listen, I got the perfect amount of questions, the perfect questions in general for her. But either way, of course, you guys know how my guest speakers are. They don't have a lot of time. So we most definitely want to take advantage of the time that she's giving so she can go ahead and drop the gems today. So Key, are you with us today?
hello. I'm here. I'm here. Thank you, Calvin.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, first off, thank you so much for actually being on the channel today. Of course, we all know that you have your own channel to attend to, and of course, the rest of your business endeavors. So, again, we thank you for being on the channel today.
Thank you, Calvin.
All right.
Appreciate
Awesome. 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 All right. So let's get right into it. So, of course, we all know that your YouTube channel is blowing up, which, by the way, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys go ahead and check out Key and her channel. Of course, it's called Key Adventures. So you guys can go ahead and check that out. But either way, let's get right into it. So, how did you find yourself getting so many credit cards? So, like, why do you, like, for example, why do you have over 50 credit cards?
Listen, I just have to say right up front, that was never my original goal. Honestly, I just like traveling, and a lot of my friends, they were more affluent than I am. And in
Mm,
order for me to be able to afford, going on those trips when I wanted to,
yeah.
I found credit cards and the rewards programs to be very, very helpful for that. Airline
Yeah.
miles, hotel nights, and things of that nature. So
Okay, got you, got you. Listen, we all got some friends that's got a slightly bigger bag than ourselves. Okay,
mhm.
but at the same time, the way that you're doing it is still a very smart way. Obviously, when you have credit cards, you have points, you have rewards, and it sounds like you're maximizing that particular opportunity that you've essentially positioned yourself to be in. So, if you wouldn't mind me asking, what are your total credit card limits? Do you know that number?
Yeah. So listen, it's gonna sound crazy, but that number is $289,000. And
Man.
you know what? I feel like we should pause there because that doesn't even include like the lines of credit that I have access to,
Mm,
or for example, American Express is a charge card. So
right.
even though there isn't like a credit limit that reports to your credit report, there is
Yeah.
still a maximum amount of credit that American Express extends to you there. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 289, but with a little asterisk, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what is that a lot of people think that having a certain amount of credit cards is just too much to deal with. Or, or in like in your case, you say, okay, listen, I have X amount of credit cards that have a limit up to a certain amount of numbers. And when you really think about it, any type of almost any type of emergency situation or investment opportunity or something like that, you're pretty much ready for that.
Absolutely. And that's the benefit of this, right? Is
Yeah.
I didn't start out this way. I want to be clear. Getting
Yeah.
50 credit cards is not something I advise until you have very smart credit habits and a
Yeah.
credit responsibility. So now, you asked earlier why I have 50 credit cards. Now it's
Yeah.
just a game, right? I want to see how many I can get, to be honest with you. But again, I have really good habits, and I'm fortunate to listen to channels like yours about building my credit score and
Yeah.
understanding that my credit score helps me to afford this house and other opportunities that may come along my way. So grateful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, I love to see it. I most definitely love to see it. Actually, let's turn the clock back. And this is a
Mhm.
question I didn't want you to prepare for. So let's turn the clock back. Let's go back to the key before all of the credit cards. First off, have you ever had bad credit, or like, what was that lifestyle before all of the approvals that you've been getting lately?
Yeah, good question. No, I've never had bad credit unless we consider like when you're first starting out, right? No one starts
We
with
finna
an
turn this interview off. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
8. No one starts with an 850. So I started with whatever everyone starts with, right?
Yeah.
No credit. No one's giving me the time of day. Fortunately, my first credit card was with Capital One. So that's how I got my foot into the door. And I realized quickly, right? Sign up bonuses are the way that I can afford these trips, right? My goal is to
Mm.
have at least a trip per month. Doesn't need to be a week-long vacation, right? But I'm talking a trip a month. So in order to afford that, right? I'm gonna take the spend I'm already doing and put that onto and make that more efficient.
Yeah, let's talk about that, man. A trip a month. That's a good goal to have. Listen, if you all are watching this right now and you agree that it's perfectly fine to take a trip a month, go ahead and leave your thoughts inside the comments. All right. So, because listen, Key has got us out here thinking that we can most definitely do this. So, let's talk about that. In the last 12 months, I know the goal is to do it every month, but in the last 12 months, how many trips have you been on?
Yeah, so hard for me to tell, but I mean, just this year, I've definitely exceeded the goal of a trip per month. In April alone, I think I've done 4. So
Okay.
that's just an example, right? And use long weekends, use school vacations and things like that. A trip doesn't have to be I'm taking 2 weeks off work. That's what my
Yeah.
parents used to do back in the day.
Mm,
So
yeah.
that we're past that now. You can fly in, fly out, and still have an
Mm.
amazing time and experience the culture wherever you're going.
That's right. Listen, Keith said you can fly in, fly out. Listen, we need to stop making excuses. Is what we need to stop doing. Okay.
Hmm.
Now
Exactly.
let's talk about those trips though, because let's be clear, Key is just not taking trips. I'm sure that she tries to maximize and no to see where her points are going to get her. How many of those trips, or what was the most expensive, or the most money that you spent? Not necessarily on the trip itself, but let's just talk about just like the flight, because that's usually what the points kind of cover and things of that sort. What's the most that you think that you've spent for a particular trip just on flights alone?
I mean, if we're talking just this year, I spent $25 for 2 people to go to the Philippines in business class. So
Business class, he said.
so yeah, again, using points and miles, right? I should take a step back. Most people, if they get a travels reward credit card, they're
Mhm.
probably going to be using, I'll just call it the travel portal, or think of it like an Expedia, type of
Yeah,
situation that the credit card offers. What
right.
I'm doing is I transfer those points, miles, rewards out to transfer partners. Think United, Delta, in my
Mm,
case, Turkish Airlines, as an
mm.
example, to get me where I'm trying to go. So
Listen, Key is talking about this stuff like it ain't nothing, okay? $25 for 2 people. That's $12 and
mhm,
50. Listen, it costs more than that for me to drop somebody off at the airport, okay?
exactly,
So
right?
that's a good situation to be in for sure. All right. So now, okay, let's talk about that. There's some credit cards you don't have, but for the most part, you have a lot of the credit cards that people have on their dream board, that people have as their screensavers, their background. That's the people who are pretty crazy about credit cards out here these days. So you pretty much have a lot of credit cards. How many credit cards do you have? Because of course, everyone always talk about, as we talked about earlier last year, the Mecca, right?
Mhm.
Navy Federal. How many credit cards do you have with Navy Federal?
Great question. And the truth is, I only have one right now.
Okay.
So I like to have just a diverse portfolio and
Yeah,
a diverse relationship with all of these people, right?
that's
Both
right.
credit unions and large financial institutions. You never
Hmm.
know who's going to have your back, but most of the time it's going to be those credit unions if push
Mm,
ever comes to shove.
yeah,
So I'm not the Navy Federal expert. I do want to give credit to where credit's due. So please check out Sledge's channel on Sledge
that's
Inc.
right.
Team. He is the go-to man on all things Navy Federal. Today, though, I did do some research, right? Because I was curious. I'm always looking for new credit cards and things like that. There is actually an offer that piqued my interest today on Navy Federal.
Okay.
So they have a cash rewards credit card that's offering $300 as a sign up bonus, which isn't huge, but I'll take $300 back off anything, right? But also, you'll get a year of Walmart Plus included in that.
Yeah,
Now, Walmart Plus is cool because you get access to stuff at Christmas time or the holiday season and all that good stuff early. You don't even have
right.
to go into the store. You can just wait in your car and they bring it out to you, type of thing. But here's what I do know is that they have a flagship card that Sledge talks about rather frequently.
Yeah.
That even though it says they're going to pay 1 year for that Amazon Prime membership, they've been paying year over year over year. So if you're
Mm,
already paying for Walmart Plus,
right.
this cash rewards card, no brainer. Just go ahead and get that.
Mm.
No annual fee to get that as well.
Wow. That's amazing. You know what's so crazy is that a lot of people don't pay attention to these perks that are out there, like you just mentioned, and it could be something so small. I won't say something small or insignificant, but things that we already pay for that our credit card companies, some of you all watching this, you have credit cards right now that can pay for things that you're already paying for. You just haven't looked at your card agreement. You haven't logged in to look at the perks. You're just swiping and paying the bill,
True.
So you
Say
got
that
to most
again? No.
yeah, for real. Like you gotta maximize on that, for sure. The reason why I wanted to talk about Navy Federal because everyone always talks about that. Now, but what I know that you have a credit card, and you don't have to narrow it down to one if you don't want to. But if
Mhm.
you could narrow it down out of all of your 50 credit cards, which one would you say that, in your opinion, is better than Navy Federal?
Ooh, this is gonna be a hot take. So it's actually gonna be discontinued here rather soon, but I think most people should aspire to get a City Premier card or whatever equivalent that they're gonna roll out here.
Mm,
Mostly because it covers everybody's essentials: gas, grocery, EV charging, normal type of regular expenses. And like I mentioned, there is that travel portal. So even if you're not like me that takes a trip per month, you can
yeah.
definitely try and get yourself a trip per year out of that card. Easy.
Mm, mm. Now, what's happening with this city premier car? What's going on with this? What's happening with this?
Yeah, good question. So, these banks are always trying to come up with the latest hot thing. So, effective
Mhm.
tomorrow, they will be coming out with a new version of this card. There's a lot of rumors about what that card's going to be, but the, if people come off the street and ask me, "Hey, what's the one card I should get?" This is the one that I always like to recommend.
This is the one that Key stands behind. Stamped. Okay.
Stamp it.
That's what's up, though. That's what's up. Because you know what? A lot of people, I think that people always go with like what they always do. They go by what's most popular, right?
Hmm.
And lately it has always been the popular credit union with Navy Federal, things of that sort. And but again, when you're talking about just credit cards, not relationships with credit unions, but just credit card, like pound for pound, and you're saying that City Premier is going to be a great card. And I'm sure some people may even have a different card, but the whole point of this is, guys, Navy Federal's a great bank and they have great credit cards, but there are other options. So don't limit yourself. I love how you mentioned that you have, just different relationships in general. Obviously, you have over 50 credit cards, so you're ready for almost anything. But it's more so, just like you said, is that building relationships with a lot of different banks because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's to come. So how, I got another question too. Now, a lot of times, since I think Chase Bank is one of the largest banks that a lot of people have their checking accounts with, savings accounts,
Yeah.
CDs, stuff like that. They may, again, even have certain types of credit cards that they're looking to get, with Chase Bank. How many Chase credit cards do you have, personal and business?
Oh man, I knew this question was coming. So, if you would ask me this last week, the answer was 10. Since that time, I did go ahead and cancel two cards. So, I'm
Wow.
down to eight. I'm down to eight.
Wow. She said she's down to 8. Y'all hear this? Isn't
Uh,
that something? Okay. Now let's talk about that. In your
yeah,
opinion, what Chase credit cards were those, and what
yeah.
made you make the decision to cancel them?
Great question. So the two that I canceled, one was a $0 annual fee card issued by Chase, but co-branded with United. I got rid of that card mostly because I moved. When I first got the card, I was in a major city that operated mostly United flights, and
Mm,
now since that time, I've moved. So I've completely almost depleted my points pool of miles with United, and
yeah.
it just doesn't make sense out of my home airport. So
Got
that
you.
card got the axe.
Got you.
The second card was actually the Amazon Prime card. Again, no
Yeah.
annual fee. So, yes, I'm out here canceling no annual fee cards. But again, there's a lot of other ways to get discounts for Amazon, whether that's purchasing gift cards at the gas station or while you're at the
Mm.
supermarket. I find that's much more convenient for me. And honestly, I'd rather just get those rewards from, one of those cards that affords me travel versus just Amazon dollars.
Yeah. Man, you know what? I think I really like your strategy, Key. I think you've really like put almost like a not just a strategy, but you've most definitely put a plan together how you essentially, not just apply for a credit card, how you manage your credit cards and things of that sort. What makes you decide? Because obviously you don't do business with every credit card company that sends you something in the mail.
No.
What do you look for when you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and apply for it? You already know you'll get approved, but but what are some of the things you look for when you're about to apply for a credit card?
Yeah, good question. For me, I like to think of it as a long-term relationship, right? Like
Mm,
there this is not just try and get as many credit cards today and not worry about my future. I'm eventually going to want more mortgages, hopefully more cars,
yeah.
more lines of credit, etc. So I'm thinking, what other types of products could I potentially get into? The credit card's a easy way to get into the door, right? Because I don't like to be moving my checking account and my savings account all over the place willy nilly. So credit card's easy way to test it out, see if you like, how they handling things. If you have a question, and then try to expand that relationship if that's important to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, if you all are looking to get the right type of credit card, if you're looking to learn more about each of these credit cards, make sure you guys go ahead and follow. Well, not just follow, of course. We're on YouTube, so we got to subscribe over here. So make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to Key's YouTube channel, Kiki's Adventures. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out her channel. She's always talking about various credit cards, how she's taking these trips, and how you all can do the same. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that for sure. If you guys are getting any kind of value out of this video, make sure you guys go ahead and give it a thumbs up as well. Now, of course, Key, that a lot of the people that watch my channel, a lot of the core audience, they are people that are building their credit, they're rebuilding their credit,
Mhm.
and they're just kind of tiptoeing, into they don't want to mess up what they've built, right? What would you say to a person that is essentially, if someone is looking to build maybe not 50 credit cards, but they just want to go from like two or three to like five or 10. What are
Mm.
some credit cards that you would like recommend if they were like in that 650 and above range?
Yeah, this is a great question, Calvin. And I don't want to deflect from the question. I just think it really depends. It depends on what you're going for, right?
Yeah.
It's hard. And I know there's a lot of YouTube channels that will say you must get this card just because there's a referral link
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
all that stuff. So I don't want to do that, right? I,
Yeah.
I really want people to make an educated decision about what
Mm,
they're looking for. Is cash back the way to go? You
yeah.
don't need three, four, five credit cards. Like one or two is cool, like, or just one. And again, even if you do choose to have multiple credit cards, as I do,
Yeah.
make sure that you have the automatic payments. As soon as that bad boy comes in the mail and I rip that open, I go right to that account and make sure I set up my automatic payment.
Mm,
Even if it's just for the minimum, right?
yeah.
Because one, I'm not going to be spending money on these cards every single month, right? That's crazy. I have
Mm,
50 cards. I
yeah.
truly pick one or two cards that I keep in my wallet. And from there, every single month, even if you don't have a balance, it's reporting that you made an on time payment on your credit history. So
That's right.
you don't have to be using these cards like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that advice. She most definitely deflected from the question. No, I'm kidding. But
You're right. You're right.
but no, I like it because you didn't necessarily say you didn't make people feel like they have to go with a certain bank per se. You more so say, hey, listen, what are you trying to do this for? What are you looking for? Right? Are you
Mhm.
looking for cash back? Are you guys looking for those bonuses? But listen, one thing for sure, even though Key say all that, she still got 50 some credit cards. I hope y'all
That's
just paying
true. And
attention.
I do
Okay.
have referral links too. So I do want to plug that, but I'm not trying to push anybody there. I want you
Yeah.
to make an educational decision or educated decision for yourself. That's all I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I think that that's key, right? So
Hey,
pun intended, pun intended. So listen, we greatly appreciate you stopping by the channel. If you guys want to see Key come back so we can start breaking down these credit cards, all right. And listen, do you have your stack ready by chance? Is it nearby? Do you have a stack ready? Because I know she keep a stack ready somewhere. So
listen,
we
when I come back, I'm gonna unleash all the cards that are up in here. Okay, I promise.
wow,
But this is how
that
I
is
maintain it all.
that is crazy. Look, people got credit card wallets out here. Okay. That is crazy. Okay. Well, Keith, thanks again so much for stopping by the channel. Listen, if you all found this information value, give us a thumbs up and make sure you guys go ahead and check out Key's channel on YouTube. And that is Kiki Adventures. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out as well. And Key, is there anything that you want to leave with the audience before we wrap up?
Listen, first, Calvin, I just want to say thank you. I just started my YouTube channel in January, so I appreciate you having me onto your very mature channel, and I look forward to all the conversations in the comments and so forth. So just thank you. I really appreciate it. And the last thing I'll say is you don't need to have 50 credit cards, but if you want to, I can show you the way and stop by my channel. If you need some ideas on where to go, how to spend a long weekend, you could definitely see it on my channel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys heard it directly from Key herself. Make sure you guys stop by the channel, learn more about these credit cards and such. Get the education. Even if you're not sure which ones to go with, get the education. It costs nothing to watch these videos on the platform. So thanks again, Key. We greatly appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Calvin, so much.
All right.